Well, we're back here for the last day of the Shacknews Awards deliberations. We actually got together beforehand, played a little diabolical, and voted for our top 10 indie games of the year. It's going to be a separate article that hits shacknews.com where we list all 10. But I have the pleasure of announcing the Shacknews Indie Game of the Year is Hades by Supergiant Games. So congratulations to the folks over there at Supergiant Games.
Huzzah.
Does anyone have anything to say about Hades?
I don't want to take up all everybody's time.
I'll jump in real quick. As someone who's written and played a lot, written a lot about and played a lot of roguelikes, I'm still just pleasantly surprised that developers can keep them so fresh. Mm-hmm. Hades is just one of the most addictive I've played in forever. Maybe since FTL or Rogue Legacy.
I feel like since Dead Cells in my case.
Since Dead Cells, but also like the thing is that what roguelikes have never really done particularly well, because it's not conducive to procedural content, is narrative. And Hades managed to merge great gameplay with a narrative that actually responds to your deaths, and I'm just really digging every aspect of the game. I'm still playing it, still enjoying it.
I'll go from the opposite direction in that I don't play roguelikes. So when a game that I'm not, or a genre that I'm not really into, when a game comes along that makes me love it and sort of then go, hey, maybe this is a genre I could get into, or maybe this is something that I should pay closer attention to. Like, I think there's something to be said about that as well, is that it's not very often. Like, I normally see games like likes or lights, and I'm just like, meh, you know? And this was like, it's really drew me in, and I can't wait to play it more.
I really like how the story plays into the gameplay mechanic. How when you die, you're back in Hades, at your house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad's there to troll you, and there's Cerberus, and everyone else that you've encountered that you've beaten is there. And like, I think that it does a good job of making you feel like you're progressing even if you're not. And not many roguelikes do that well. I think they did an excellent job writing this game, and it enhances the gameplay as a result.
I think there is two parts of praise I have for this. One of them is specifically what I expect out of Supergiant Games, which is all here in Hades. They have a great art style. Like, every character is just so lush and vibrant and cool looking. Like Nyx is, like Ozzy and I talked about, Nyx is one of our favorite character designs of any character. I also just like the way every god is like drawn. Artemis is really funny looking because Artemis is by all accounts a badass bitch, but she has, like, in her art, there's just 3 little owls sitting on the end of her bow. They're just kind of adorable. And it's just little details like that make all these characters pop all the more. Music has always been a strong point of Supergiant Games. Darren Korb is amazing at what he does. The music actually adapts to you in Hades, whether you're in an action part or whether you're at sort of a restful part, and I think that's incredible. Plus, it's just like some fantastic music, whether you're in or outside the game. I have the soundtrack for my work soundtrack. And then there's like the stuff that like is new to Supergiant Games. I think a good display of what I'm talking about here when it comes to roguelikes is, like, I have a favorite style that I like in this game. I talked about it. It's like getting Ares boons and going Doom style with the shield. But like in that game that I played, you saw, like, I didn't get any of those cool things that I usually get at all. And so I like took what I got and I rolled with it and adapted. And that's something that this game is cool about, is that there are so many different styles that it makes you adapt and use what you're given on the fly, and you can make lemonade out of lemons in that game super easily.
No, I also like how I don't know what it's called exactly, but that mirror in your bedroom, how you use the purple points to upgrade stuff, and those things are kind of permanent in your runs. I like the balance of the gifts from the gods that you get each room or whatever versus the grinding aspect of it. I just feel like the systems in this game are deeper than a lot of roguelikes, and they intertwine especially well. and they exist in the story. Like the story makes, like the way that the upgrades work makes sense in the realm of this story. And I think that very frequently I don't talk about story when I talk about roguelikes, but this game I do. Because I think they did a really good job of intertwining those things.
And we give credit to Darren Korb as a composer and making these great soundtracks. Who knew the dude was a good voice actor too? I mean, the way he brought life to Zagreus and just the voice direction for that game in general, going to like a lot of the characters, the Furies, to Dusa, to like Achilles, to the gods, to Hades himself, just like being this massive intimidating presence. Like the presentation for that game in general is just a total hoot. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I'm broadcasting live from Hades right now.
Nice.
And it's fine.
I'm almost certain that
I'm pretty sure that's just 2020.
Oh.
I'm almost certain that Supergiant Games is the sole developer in history to ever make a Medusa head cute.
We're gonna get into that in like a different topic, but God, like Dusa's just the best. Like she brings joy, and who knew that you could ever say that about like a Medusa head?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Do we have any other high praise to sing about Hades here?
I've always liked the way that Supergiant, right? That's the developer. I've always liked the way their games looked aesthetically, like Transistor and what was it, Bastion?
Oh.
Is that like
my doorbell?
Mystery?
There's a Transistor, Bastion, Pyre.
They all look great. They all look fantastic, but I've never been able to get into the gameplay. The way that the combat mechanics worked or something like that would always kind of just make things feel tedious or like a chore from the beginning. Having more traditional, like sort of action RPG combat really hit the spot for me. It made it way more enjoyable than any of their previous titles. As cool as they looked, I could just never really get into them.
And the other thing about roguelikes is you kind of start to get used to like the gameplay loop after a while. But Hades will throw wrenches at you occasionally. Like they'll mix up encounters, they'll add encounters. You'll get to a boss fight thinking like, okay, I know how to approach this boss fight. They'll throw you a different boss fight out of the blue. Like little things like that, like just kind of mix up the whole experience, and it keeps the whole thing fresh.
For sure. And with that, I don't know, does anyone else want to add anything, or should we bang the gavel?
I think we should bang the gavel.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys mentioned it when I had my headphones off. Supergiant is also known for being very accommodative to their developers, almost anti-crunch.
Forced vacations.
Yeah, forced vacations. I think that's something to highlight here, that you can make a great game and take your time doing it. This was an excellent game. You know, it's weird. I didn't really like it in early access, but this 1.0 release was excellent. So yeah, congratulations to Supergiant Games. You've shown people how to make an amazing game, and I don't think this is the last award they're going to be getting. So, but yeah, they should be very proud of this. There were a lot of amazing indie games that came out in 2020. Each year, we just seem to get a flood of them. So congratulations, Hades. You are our Shacknews Indie Game of the Year 2020. Is decided.
Time for the main event.